Hello dear students. In today's video, we will be solving questions from the lesson on chemical reactions and equations from the Class 10 Science Part 1 textbook. So let's start. 10 Science Part 1, Chapter number 3 Chemical Reactions and Equations, Question and Answers. Exercise. Question 1. Choose the correct option from the bracket and explain the statement giving reason. Oxidation, displacement, electrolysis, reduction, zinc, copper, double displacement, decomposition. Sub-question 1. To prevent rusting, a layer of zinc metal is applied on iron sheets. Answer. Explanation. Due to moisture and various components of atmosphere, oxidation of iron takes place. A certain type of reddish-colored solid layer collects on the iron surface. This layer is called rust. Its chemical formula is iron 3 oxide hydrated. To avoid rusting, a layer of zinc metal is applied on iron sheets which prevents iron sheets from directly coming in contact with the atmosphere and hence prevents rusting. This process of giving a thin coating of zinc on iron to protect it from rusting is called galvanization. Sub-question 2. The conversion of ferrous sulfate to ferric sulfate is oxidation reaction. Answer. Explanation. The conversion of ferrous sulfate iron to sulfate into ferric sulfate iron 3 sulfate is an oxidation reaction. In the above ionic reaction, when ferric ion is formed from ferrous ion, the positive charge is increased by 1 unit. While this happens, the ferrous ion loses 1 electron and losing of electrons is an oxidation reaction. Sub-question 3. When electric current is passed through acidulated water, electrolysis of water takes place. Answer. Explanation. Point 1. Water decomposes into hydrogen and oxygen gases on passing electric current through acidulated water. Point 2. This decomposition takes place by means of electrical energy. Point 3. Therefore, it is called as electrolysis. Sub-question 4. Addition of an aqueous solution of zinc sulfate to an aqueous solution of barium chloride form a white precipitate is an example of double displacement reaction. Answer. Explanation. Point 1. When aqueous solution of zinc sulfate is added to aqueous solution of barium chloride, a reaction takes place forming an aqueous solution of zinc chloride and a white precipitate of barium sulfate. Point 2. In this reaction, ions in the reactants are exchanged to form a precipitate. Such reactions are called double displacement reactions. Question 2. Write answers to the following. Sub-question 1. What is the reaction called when oxidation and reduction take place simultaneously? Explain with one example. Answer. Point 1. When oxidation and reduction take place simultaneously in a given reaction, it is termed as redox reaction. Point 2. During oxidation, a reactant combines with oxygen or loses hydrogen, and during reduction it gains hydrogen or loses oxygen. Point 3 is given directly. Point 4. In the above reaction, sulfur dioxide is reduced and hydrogen sulfide is oxidized. Sub-question 2. How can the rate of the chemical reaction, namely, decomposition of hydrogen peroxide, be increased? Answer. Point 1. The chemical reaction in which two or more products are formed from a single reactant is called a decomposition reaction. Hydrogen peroxide decomposes into water and oxygen. Point 2. The decomposition of hydrogen peroxide into water and oxygen takes place slowly at room temperature. However, the rate of this chemical reaction can be increased by adding manganese dioxide powder to it. Here, manganese dioxide acts as a catalyst. Sub-question 3. Explain the term reactant and product giving examples. Answer. Point 1. A chemical reaction is a process in which some substances undergo bond breaking and are transformed into new substances by the formation of new bonds. Point 2. The substances taking part in a chemical reaction are called reactants, whereas the substances formed as a result of a chemical reaction by the formation of new bonds are called products. Point 3. For example, Point A. Formation of carbon dioxide gas by combustion of coal in air is a chemical reaction. In this reaction, coal, carbon, and oxygen from air are the reactants, while carbon dioxide is the product. Point B is given directly. In the above equation, copper sulfate and zinc are the reactants and zinc sulfate and copper are the products. Sub-question 4. Explain the types of reaction with reference to oxygen and hydrogen. Illustrate with examples. Answer. Point 1. Types of reactions with reference to oxygen and hydrogen are oxidation reactions and reduction reactions. Oxidation reaction. The chemical reaction in which a reactant combines with oxygen or loses hydrogen to form the product is called an oxidation reaction. For example, 1. Magnesium reacts with oxygen to form magnesium oxide. 2. Magnesium plus oxygen yields to magnesium oxide. Here, oxygen combines with magnesium to form magnesium oxide. 2. Magnesium hydride loses hydrogen to form magnesium and hydrogen gas. Magnesium hydride yields magnesium plus hydrogen. Here, magnesium hydride loses hydrogen. Reduction reaction. The chemical reaction in which a reactant combines with hydrogen or loses oxygen to form a product is called a reduction reaction. For example, carbon plus 2 hydrogen yields methane. Here, carbon combines with hydrogen and forms the compound methane. Mercuric oxide yields mercury plus oxygen. Here, mercuric oxide loses oxygen to form mercury. Sub-question 5. Explain the similarity and difference in two events, namely adding NaOH to water and adding CaO to water. Answer. Similarity. Point 1. Both NaOH and CaO dissolve in water. NaOH dissolves in water forming aqueous sodium hydroxide, while CaO reacts with water to form calcium hydroxide. Point 2. Both are bitter in taste and turn red litmus paper blue. In other words, both are basic in nature. Both are exothermic reactions. Point 3. After adding water, the properties of aqueous solutions of sodium hydroxide and calcium hydroxide are different. Difference. Point 1. Sodium hydroxide is highly soluble in water, whereas calcium oxide is less soluble in water. Point 2. Aqueous solution of sodium hydroxide is monovalent, whereas aqueous solution of calcium hydroxide is divalent. Point 3. As sodium hydroxide is highly soluble in water, it forms a strong base, whereas calcium hydroxide is a weak base. Question 3. Explain the following terms with examples. Sub-question 1. Endothermic reaction. Answer. Point 1. A reaction in which heat is either absorbed from the surrounding or has to be supplied continuously from outside is called as endothermic reaction. Point 2. For example, melting of ice, dissolution of potassium nitrate in water. During the process of dissolution of potassium nitrate in water, heat from the surroundings is absorbed and therefore, the temperature of the resulting solution is less. Point 3. The process in which heat is absorbed from outside is called endothermic process. Sub-question 2. Combination reaction. Answer. Point 1. When two or more reactants combine in a reaction to form a single product, it is called a combination reaction. Point 2. For example, when a magnesium strip is burnt in air, it combines with oxygen to form white ash of magnesium oxide. Point 3 is given directly. Sub-question 3. Balanced equation. Answer. Point 1. The number of atoms of the elements in the reactants is same as the number of atoms of those elements in the products. Such an equation is called balanced equation. Point 2. In any reaction, the total mass of each of the respective elements in the reactants is same as the total mass of each of the respective elements in the products. Point 3. This is in accordance with the law of conservation of mass. Point 4 is given directly. Sub-question 4. Displacement reaction. Answer. Point 1. The reaction in which the place of the ion of a less reactive element in a compound is taken by another more reactive element by formation of its own ions is called displacement reaction. Point 2 is given directly. Point 3. In the above equation, when zinc dust is added to blue-colored copper sulfate solution, a colorless solution of zinc sulfate is formed and copper is deposited on zinc. Point 4. The zinc ions formed from zinc atoms take the place of copper ions in copper sulfate, and copper atoms formed from copper ions come out. It means that zinc displaces copper from copper sulfate. Question 4. Explain the following terms with examples. Sub-question 1. When the gas formed on heating limestone is passed through freshly prepared lime water, the lime water turns milky. Answer. Point 1. On heating, limestone undergoes thermal decomposition to form calcium oxide, quicklime, and carbon dioxide. Point 2. Calcium oxide when dissolved in water forms calcium hydroxide, lime water. Point 3. When carbon dioxide is passed through lime water, it turns milky due to formation of white precipitate of calcium carbonate. Sub-question 2. It takes time for pieces of Shahabad tile to disappear in HCl, but its powder disappears rapidly. Answer. Point 1. When HCl is added to Shahabad stone, effervescence of carbon dioxide is formed. Point 2. The carbon dioxide effervescence is formed slowly with the pieces of Shahabad tiles while at a faster speed with the powder. Point 3. This is because the rate of a reaction depends upon the size of the particles of the reactants taking part in the reaction. Point 4. The smaller the size of the reactant particles, the more is the surface area available for the reaction and higher is the rate of reaction. Point 5. Hence, it takes time for pieces of Shahabad tiles to disappear in HCl, but its powder disappears rapidly. Sub-question 3. While preparing dilute sulfuric acid from concentrated sulfuric acid in the laboratory, the concentrated sulfuric acid is added slowly to water with constant stirring. Answer. Point 1. Concentrated sulfuric acid is a hazardous, highly corrosive chemical. It has a higher density than water and is hygroscopic, which means that it absorbs water from the air. Point 2. In the process of dilution of concentrated sulfuric acid with water, a very large amount of heat is liberated. Point 3. As a result, water gets evaporated instantaneously along with splashing of acid, which may cause an accident. Point 4. To avoid this, the required amount of water is taken in a glass container, and a small quantity of concentrated sulfuric acid at a time is added with stirring. Point 5. Therefore, only a small amount of heat is liberated at a time. Sub-question 4. It is recommended to use airtight container for storing oil for long time. Answer. Point 1. Air, heat and light affect the quality of edible oil, which deteriorates through oxidation, rancidity. Point 2. The oxidation process is greatly enhanced when edible oils are stored in containers that are not airtight and in areas where oil is exposed to air, heat and light. Point 3. Hence, it is recommended to use airtight containers for storing oil for long time to prevent it from getting oxidized. Question 5. Observe the following picture or write down the chemical reaction with explanation. Answer is on the next slide. Answer. Point 1. In the above diagram, the process of rusting takes place. Point 2. A certain type of reddish-colored solid layer collects on the metallic surface. Point 3. This layer is called rust. Point 4. Its chemical formula is iron 3 oxide X water. The rust is formed by an electrochemical reaction. Point 5. Different regions on the surface of iron become anode and cathode. Point 6. Iron is oxidized to iron 2 plus in the anode region. Point 7, 8, and 9 is on the next slide. Point 10. Due to various components of atmosphere, oxidation of metals takes place, consequently resulting in their damage. Point 11. This is called corrosion. Iron rusts and a reddish-colored layer is collected on it. This is corrosion of iron. Question 6. Identify from the following reactions the reactants that undergo oxidation and reduction. Answer is given directly. Question 7. Balance the following equations stepwise. Answer is given directly. Question 8. Identify the endothermic and exothermic reactions. Sub-question 1. Hydrochloric acid plus sodium hydroxide yields sodium chloride plus water plus heat. Answer. Exothermic reaction. Sub-question 2. 2 potassium chlorate solid yield to potassium chloride solid plus 3 oxygen gases. Answer. Endothermic reaction. Sub-question 3. Calcium oxide plus water yields calcium hydroxide plus heat. Answer. Exothermic reaction. Sub-question 4. Calcium carbonate solid yields calcium oxide solid plus carbon dioxide gas. Answer. Endothermic reaction. Question 9. Match the column in the following table. Answer is given directly.
Great video. Mom,
Yes.
I found the good channel for study.
Great. Like the video, share it to your school friends. Subscribe to it. But what's the channel's name?
Wings of Fire Academy.